Earlier in the show, we featured the ES300H, that is Lexus's sole sedan in India for now. Time to switch focus to the SUVs. Offering number 2 from Lexus is the edgy RX 450h. Again, it is expensive with prices starting at an exorbitant 1.07 crore rupees. But what a looker! About the size of a BMW X5, the RX is full of sharp angles and edges and looks like nothing else out there. The spindle-like grille up front is huge, the headlights look razor sharp, and that flowing roof just floats above the rear in an extremely interesting manner. There are 2 trims on sale in India, but the visual differences are concentrated in the cabin. This is the F Sport, which, as is obvious, is the sportier of the 2 RXs on offer. So what is it that you get in the F Sport? Well, for one, you get a racier theme inside the cabin. The red leather seats, the red leather all around here is part of the package. And you know what? It doesn't look garish, but actually looks racy and sporty. On the whole, the interior is unique in look, but is user-friendly too. The low-slung dash allows for great visibility, while the massive 12.3-inch screen for the infotainment system is also positioned high up and in your line of sight. The screen is your go-to place to set up the superb Mark Levinson sound system. Built to carry large American frames, the seats are big and supportive, and you can recline the backrest via a button here as well. Space is good, but headroom can be a bit tight for taller occupants. Poke around the cabin and you'll find fit and finish to be good, but the RX isn't quite as solidly put together as many of its German rivals. The RX 450h does distinguish itself for its hybrid powertrain though. The drive system combines a 262 HP 3.5-litre petrol V6 mated to a pair of electric drive motors that put out 123 kilowatts or 167 HP. Total combined power is 313 HP. The RX also uses a 4-wheel drive system that is quite unique. Here, drive at the rear is provided via an electric motor. So, how does it all come together? The RX 450h really feels like a strong car. Now, that is expected. It's got a strong and powerful V6 engine that comes mated to an electric motor. And you can actually feel the electric assist in initial acceleration. It really picks up speed really well. 0 to 100 kph comes up in a quick 7.7 seconds, but when you rush the RX, the CVT gearbox tends to play spoilsport. The stretch and strain from the CVT's belts and pulley system is so much that the feeling of accelerating hard is nowhere near as immersive as it should be. There are multiple drive modes on offer, namely Eco, Normal, Sport and Sport Plus, each with their own powertrain, steering and suspension settings. The adjustable dampers provide a good balance between suppleness and control in normal mode, but prove too firm in Sport Plus. The upside of the stiffness in the suspension is that body control is very respectable. Now, for all its looks, the RX isn't the sportiest handler. I would say handling and general body control is neat and tidy, but it lacks a bit in terms of excitement, and that is a bit disappointing because remember, for the same money you can get yourself a Jaguar F-Pace or even a Porsche Macan. Then again, what differentiates the Lexus RX 450 is that little H that follows the name. It's a hybrid. At a time when SUVs and especially diesel SUVs are demonized, the RX 450h comes across as a guilt-free indulgence. Not half as politically correct as the RX 450h is the big daddy of the Lexus range, the LX 450d. Here are just some of its numbers. It's over 5 meters long, nearly 2 meters wide, weighs upwards of 2.6 tons, is powered by a 265 horsepower 4.5-litre V8 diesel, and costs an eye-watering 2.3 crore rupees ex-showroom. The LX is Lexus's version of the Toyota Land Cruiser LC200, so this is a tough-as-nails body-on-frame SUV. The LX is so huge and bulky that it looks like it's got some amount of armor protection from the factory itself. Seriously, see one in your rearview mirror and you'll just make way for it. For the few interested in one, that's one part of the appeal of an LX. So, the Lexus LX experience starts at first hauling yourself up into the high cabin. You need to use this handle to get yourself up. But once inside, you get such a nice commanding view of the road. It's almost like you own it. Now the next thing. The LX has a V8 engine, but it sounds a bit industrial, and that's not all that nice because when you go to your favorite 5-star hotel, you won't make the quietest of entries. But when you're inside, keep the double glazed windows closed and a lot of the noise will be outside. There are lots of soft touch plastics, a lavish use of wood and even aluminium detailing in the cabin. But there are a few hard plastics here and there and it doesn't feel at par with a Range Rover. The LX's dashboard is dominated by a 12.3-inch screen, the controls to which sit in the region of the gear lever. But the controls of real interest are for the off-road functions. The LX gets full-time 4-wheel drive with a low range, a lockable center differential, and selectable drive modes that tweak the electronics for various off-road scenarios. Unfortunately, today we won't get to put the LX's renowned off-road ability to the test. Anyway, this is a wide cabin and front passengers get large thrones to sit on, fitting for the king of the road. So how is the LX from behind the wheel? The Lexus LX, now what can I say? As I mentioned, you already sit at a very high and commanding position. You're almost at eye level with bus drivers. That's how high you sit. As for the driving experience, there's no getting away from the sheer bulk of this thing. And in fact, even you can feel that even the V8 engine is under a lot of strain to keep this thing moving. It is not the quickest to respond, but once the V8 boost kicks in, it pushes forward with a fair amount of ease. For many though, the most important seats would be the ones at the back. Note, the LX450D doesn't get a third row of seats. If you're interested in the Lexus LX, it goes without saying that you're going to be interested in this seat as well. Well, Lexus, for its part, has done enough to ensure rear seat passengers are well taken care of. There are 2 large entertainment screens in the back. They are a bit in your face, but they do offer plenty of entertainment options. There's also 4-zone climate control, and the controls are right here. But this is not quite really the best of back seats. Surprisingly, it's not as spacious as you'd expect it to be. Legroom is good, but it could have been better still, especially considering how large this SUV is. Also, the ride is a bit lumpy, and the seating position is a bit knees up, so it's not very comfortable. But then again, you can't forget the fact that few SUVs can take you to places this one can. The LX really feels bomb-proof and is most likely to outlast its owners as well. Pity it cost the earth. So that's our first impression of the Lexus range in India. The ES300H, RX450H and LX450D are likable in their own ways, but there's just no denying they are expensive too. The sad fact is that they will remain so until Lexus starts local assembly sometime down the line. But Lexus won't be just about the cars. The promise is of Japanese reliability, relatively low ownership costs and a stress-free ownership, traits that are sure to find resonance with Indian buyers. Lexus's start may be small, but this is certainly a brand to watch out for.